It's pretty.
Well, I thank you all so much. I want to give a round of applause right now to Rob and Enrique because they have done such an amazing job, and to all of you, the presenters, and especially the audience, because honestly, organizing all this, I know from experience, takes a while, but in a lot of sacrifice. But without people who attend and support this and share, then we couldn't even have these events. So thank you all so much. I'm going to go ahead and start because really I'm here to share this message with you. And you can always find information about me at Terrell or shellyterrell.com/innovation. You can find the slides and lots of different resources. So whenever you guys need me to start, I can begin. And please donate. It's really important. I already donated as well, not only my time, but funds because I could. So any bit you have, that's important. I'm okay. I'm speaking to a room full of different world changers. All of you have taken the time. You are teaching language learners, and that means you are definitely teaching the next generation of world changers, or the now generation of world changers. And so I believe that you can definitely do that because you've already been through this journey. You know what it takes. You know, organizing something like this, asking people to help, being part of a community, and it's getting that kind of experience and that tenacity and that drive and putting it in the classroom and really allowing our students to be able to do that. To inspire the next generation of world changers, it's not an easy journey. We know that whenever we've had events like this, or we've done different things like gone on a plane or gotten out of our comfort zone and have organized something locally, whether it's, you know, volunteering or being passionate about animals and saving them, or anything we're passionate about, that is a long, difficult journey. And so when I get to speak with my learners every day, or teachers, about this, and inspiring them to do something great and transform the world in a positive way, I like to show them this example from Thomas Edison, because he was one of the great problem solvers and inventors of of all time. And if you can see this quote, you might be able to figure out what he was inventing or what problems he was solving with this. And it was one of the greatest inventions ever, which is the light bulb. It took him 10,000 times. And so an important question I like to ask my learners, and even to present to you, is what would have happened if Thomas Edison would have just given up after the first time? I teach elementary right now. I teach over 200 students each week, problem-based learning, STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And I see that when it gets very tough, when they struggle, they come from different backgrounds. They're, different economically challenged and stuff. And I see them just break down. And there's a lot of tears in my classroom every week. And I let them know it's okay. You know, it's going to be tough. But what if you give up? What if Edison would have given up that one time? What if he would have given up the 100th? What if after having so many obstacles and frustrations, he would have given up the 1,000th time? Then what would have happened? We wouldn't have had so much light all around the world. And so I asked them, okay, so what are you so passionate about? What is the problem that you want to solve, whether it be climate change, whether it be, reducing packaging, whether it be reducing air pollution? Right now, we're talking about endangered animals. What is it, world peace? What is it that drives you so much that you would go on this journey and that you would keep trying to attempt to solve more than 10,000 times and get up? And so the question becomes, how do we even give them that inner drive and the skills, especially the spiritual and not only the intellectual? Because I think that often we do a great job about that, especially the ones that are listening to this presentation, because you are constantly out there equipping yourselves, learning, how I teach this way or that way. But how do we give them that inner drive and talk? Well, I think at least from this presentation, I want to inspire you, if you haven't already, and I know many of you have, at least one project, one global collaboration project. And if you've already done that, then perhaps two, push it to the next level, because our students, and I love this tweet here because it really shows how many young souls are out there and they're using social media and their technology access to truly transform the world. You know, if I say the name Greta, many of you have heard of her. Thunberg, I believe is her last name, have done so much, and all this activism, and they are creating real change. But that needs to happen in the classroom. It needs to happen more within a setting where us as teachers can help facilitate, guide, pick them up each of those 10,000 times, introduce them to different ways. Oh, that didn't work here. Let's help you get to the next level. Let's help you find a way that we're going to make your light shine in the world. And so it's really important it comes to our classroom. And the global goals are one of the most wonderful types of resources that has come to really help you do that. There are 17 sustainable goals. They even have a classroom projects where you can, all of this is free. You can gather with many teachers and schools around the world and classes, and you can attempt to make real change in the world. And then you can guide your students through that, and they go through that process. Another way we can do this is through science, technology, engineering, and math curriculum. This is very big in the US. I've been to over 20 countries. Sometimes you hear things like CLIL, and CLIL is sort of like the same thing. It's just cross-curricular, it's cross-content, letting students know, hey, you can change the world, but we need you to go through this process. And it's called the engineering design process. You might think of it as another process, but there are free resources, these awesome posters, flashcards, everything that you can find at sciencedemoguide.com. They're so friendly. I love the little cartoon characters. But it's really important that our students get to go through a process, that they understand that changing the world, yeah, it takes a great idea. It takes a lot of passion, but you got to do the work. You've got to go. You can't skip steps. And so many students I see these days, they have the technology and it's so right at hand. They can send a tweet, they can send an image, they can, retweet, and that takes seconds. So sometimes they don't want to go through the process because their minds have been taught in their habits that, hey, I can just let my voice speak for it on social media. I've made a change. But as all of you have seen here with this event, it's not just enough. It's, giving 10 minutes of your time, making a presentation, showing up, staying here 20 hours, 24 hours, how many you have, sharing what people have showed you, doing the little snapshots, the selfies, things like that. So that's really important as well. And so all of these you can get for free, and he has lessons and everything. And look, it is even framed with that message. We can use STEM to help our world. So part of this process, and the most important part, is your self-talk. One of the reasons why I've been so successful, I've been able to be a world changer in so many, is because when it gets really tough, I'm able to go for that 10,000 time or the 1,000 time or whatever obstacles. And my inner voice tells me, hey, Shelly, okay, it's okay to cry, to be frustrated, to get upset when the technology doesn't work. But even when you get through obstacles, when you get through this process, and you might run into policy, and they're going to do that. Politicians, you've seen with Greta is such a great example, because every day I see in the news some other politician, just saying these incredibly mean things to her. But she's able to, and she talks about that a lot, get her inner voice to say, it's okay. I have permission to take a risk. I have that permission to fail and learn. I have that permission to be less than perfect. I have that permission to cry, get angry, upset, but I got to pick myself back up again. And so I've been very lucky that I've had several adults. My father, is one of the strong ones that every day in my life came to me and said, when you graduate from college, when you change the world. And that was the conversation. So that became my inner voice. And that's what you can do as a teacher. And getting them to say these out loud, it may seem kind of silly. Some of them might, but it really helps them in so many ways. And I've seen my students really grow through this. I'm so passionate about this. I call it mission-minded learning. And so I really like to, with my students, be able to frame it. Hey, I believe in you enough. I am your Yoda. You got to be their Yoda and say, now you have this mission to, solve climate change, to make this world a better place, peace, be part of the UN and have those conversations. 10 minutes. And in fact, I think I only have a minute left or something, but you're not going to have all the ingredients that I can share with you, but you can go to shellyterrell.com/innovation and find many of these ideas. But being that student's champion, being able to get through them through a project this year that really goes into looking at one of those sustainable goals is so important, and letting them know I'm involving you in the process. Your ideas, they count, they matter, and it's important that you document them. Journaling, the reason we know about Edison, Newton, all of these great inventors is because they kept journals. We're able to see them in libraries and museums, and we're able to see how they changed the world. You are a world changer because you inspire, and so you have a community. And so don't let this be your last conference or event or anything. Continue to surround yourselves with passionate people. And that's it. I'll leave you with that quote. Thank you all so much. Donate, donate, donate.